Could you live in a place where giving the middle finger was a national hello? Welcome to Would You Live There? Where today we're not just traveling the globe, we're ranking it. Brace yourself as we reveal the top 10 countries often labeled as the rudest in the world. But as we dive into these unique cultures and customs, remember that what seems rude to one might be straightforward to another. Curious to find out if your country made the list? Stay tuned because in this video, we'll challenge your perceptions and maybe even your decision to live there. Number 10, Greece. Greece is visited by around 30 million tourists annually who witness the country's awe-inspiring natural beauty, such as stunning beaches, exotic islands, and ancient ruins. However, despite the Greek people's friendliness, their way of life may seem harsh and peculiar to some outsiders. For instance, did you know that the Greeks invented the middle finger gesture, which is often considered a rude sign? This phallic hand gesture was created over 2,500 years ago by the ancient Greeks to poke, taunt, and offend one another. Another cultural difference that separates the Greeks is their tendency to stand quite close when conversing. However, this might be perceived as rudeness by Westerners. People who grew up in Greek households know that the culture is full of outspoken individuals who don't always respect others' personal space, especially in crowded social gatherings. Some Greeks can get too close for comfort, which may be misinterpreted as rudeness. Nevertheless, some outsiders still find this endearing as it's a matter of cultural differences and perspective. Number 9, Poland. Poland, located in the heart of Europe, is where one can experience an amalgamation of diverse cultures, ideas, and historical conflicts. Despite being a nation worth visiting, it may not be for the faint-hearted. The country has a rich history, particularly during World War II, and is home to numerous landmarks that bear witness to the trauma of that time. However, outsiders may find some aspects of Polish culture challenging to understand beyond the historical significance. Polish people have a reputation for being bluntly honest, which some may perceive as rudeness. However, this trait is a reflection of their culture's values of honesty and integrity. In addition, Polish people tend to be quite outspoken, and their opinions are expressed openly, which can be refreshing for those accustomed to more reserved social interactions. While it may take some time to get used to the straightforwardness of Polish people, their openness to new perspectives can lead to unexpected and meaningful friendships. Number 8, Israel. Israel is widely known for its thriving tech startups and entrepreneurship. However, beyond its reputation as a tech hub lies a country of captivating landscapes, diverse cultures, and delightful encounters. While Israel offers a unique and exciting travel experience, those seeking a leisurely trip may find something lacking. Israelis tend to communicate more directly than people in many other places. Honesty and straightforwardness take precedence over softening the message to protect someone's feelings. Some travelers have found this directness to be a bit too blunt, even bordering on rudeness. Israelis have a reputation for speaking their minds freely, regardless of a person's rank or status. If an Israeli thinks you're a jerk, they'll tell you directly. If asked to apologize, they might say, "I'm sorry you're such a jerk." The cultural phenomenon of directness in Israel may stem from most Israelis serving in the military. In Israel, building rapport is not about being polite. It's about feeling comfortable enough to tell someone they're behaving poorly if they are. Israelis tend to say what's on their minds and expect others to communicate directly as well. They interrupt others if they think they're talking nonsense and suggest alternatives. Not everyone appreciates this approach. Some find it refreshing, while most foreigners consider it rude. It's important to note that Israelis often don't realize they come across as rude to foreigners. They're just themselves. Nonetheless, this direct approach often helps get things done efficiently. It's simply a matter of cultural differences. Different countries, different customs. So if you're planning a trip to Israel, be prepared for some cultural adjustments. But at the same time, be open to experiencing the country's unique blend of ancient history, modern innovation, and diverse cultures. Number 7, Nigeria. Nigeria is a West African country with a population of over 200 million people, making it the most populous black nation in the world. The country is known for its diverse ethnic groups and numerous languages, each with its unique cultural heritage. The rich history of Nigeria is characterized by a long lineage of kingdoms and empires dating back centuries. The country is particularly famous for its vibrant music scene, which has produced numerous artists like Burna Boy and Wizkid that have taken the global music industry by storm. Additionally, Nigeria boasts of a diverse and flavorful cuisine, with popular dishes like jollof rice, colorful festivals, and traditional arts and crafts. Nigerians are known for their direct communication style, which may be perceived as impolite by some foreign visitors. They often speak loudly, which can be mistaken for an argument until laughter erupts, signifying a normal conversation. Nigerians also tend to use sarcasm in their communication, which may come across as rude to those unfamiliar with their friendly banter. The fast-paced urban culture in Nigeria may contribute to people always being on edge and suspicious of others. The competition for limited resources like public transportation and right-of-way while driving can be fierce, leading to cursing when one feels violated. Additionally, Nigerians tend to be skeptical and not take things at face value, often assuming people have ulterior motives. Cultural differences in perceptions of rudeness and courtesy are evident in Nigeria. For instance, holding the door open for someone is not a common courtesy in many Nigerian cultures, and so many people may not reciprocate with a thank you and a smile. However, this does not mean that Nigerians are rude. It is just a difference in cultural norms. In many Nigerian cultures, age and level of education command a great deal of respect, and failure to show respect to someone based on these factors may be deemed rude. So, Nigeria is a beautiful and culturally rich country with a lot to offer in terms of music, cuisine, festivals, and traditional arts and crafts. Nigerians may have a different communication style and cultural norms, but this does not make them rude or aggressive. Rather, it is a reflection of their diverse cultural heritage and way of life. Number 6. Germany. The story of Germanic tribesmen raising their middle fingers to Roman soldiers is a fascinating piece of history that has become a symbol of defiance and rebellion. This act of rebellion was seen by the Romans as an insult, and it was an early example of using the middle finger to express disrespect and resistance. Moving on from history, Germany is a country renowned for its efficiency, orderliness, and unique soccer style. The high-pressing gegenpressing tactic has become an integral part of German soccer. The country is also home to some of the world's largest automakers, such as Mercedes-Benz and BMW. Although Germany's past involvement in World War II is a dark chapter, the country has moved on and should not be judged based on its past. Germany is a captivating country with a rich cultural heritage that includes magnificent castles, delectable culinary delights, and a distinct communication style. The Germans have a communication style that is direct and factual, which can sometimes be perceived as abrupt by those who are not familiar with it. They are known for their honesty and straightforwardness, and they prefer substantive dialogues over small talk. This no-nonsense approach may come across as rude or intimidating to some visitors, but it reflects the German values of efficiency and precision. Germans are highly organized and they follow rules strictly. Violating cultural norms, such as crossing the street at a red light or being loud in public, can earn disapproving looks from the locals. However, these norms are simply part of the German way of life. It's also commonly believed that Germans consider themselves superior to others. While this opinion is widespread, it may not necessarily be accurate. These perceptions can influence public surveys, with around 61% of people surveyed considering Germany to be one of the rudest countries in the world. However, it's important to remember that understanding cultural differences is key to avoiding misunderstandings. What may seem rude or strange to outsiders is simply the norm for the Germans. Number 5. Saudi Arabia. Nestled in the heart of the Middle East lies the beautiful country of Saudi Arabia, home to a rich tapestry of culture and traditions. However, for those who are unfamiliar with the customs and traditions deeply ingrained in Saudi society, it can be challenging to fully appreciate and understand them. The conservative dress code, the segregation of genders in public spaces, and the frequent pauses in businesses due to prayer times may seem alien and disconnected to outsiders. However, it's essential to realize that these practices stem from a deep respect for religious beliefs and social norms rather than rudeness or a lack of hospitality. It's crucial for visitors to keep an open mind, make an effort to understand and appreciate the local customs, and respect the way of life in Saudi Arabia during their visit. Number 4. Russia. Russia is a country of immense geographical and cultural diversity and a destination that offers a unique and rich experience for visitors. However, it is important to be aware of some of the cultural differences that exist in the country, especially for those who are not familiar with the local customs and traditions. One of the most significant challenges that visitors to Russia face is the language barrier, as English is not widely spoken by the local population. This can sometimes lead to misunderstandings and miscommunications, and visitors may perceive locals as being rude or unhelpful, even though they may not intend to be. Furthermore, Russians are known for being more reserved and formal in public, which can sometimes be misinterpreted by foreigners as being cold or unwelcoming. The locals may not engage in friendly small talk as much, and visitors may notice that serious expressions are more common than wide smiles. For extroverts hoping to make local friends, it may take some effort to break the ice and develop a rapport with the locals. However, despite these cultural differences, Russia is still a fascinating and rewarding destination for those who are willing to embrace the local customs and traditions. Visitors who approach the country with an open mind and a bit of patience can discover the warm hospitality and vibrant spirit that lies beneath the reserved exterior. It is important to note that Russians have endured a tumultuous history since the Cold War era, which has contributed to a sense of wariness and caution that may be perceived as rude or unwelcoming. However, this is simply a reflection of their cultural norms and should not be taken personally. Finally, it is worth noting that due to the ongoing conflict with Ukraine, Russia is not currently welcoming travelers for the foreseeable future. However, for those who are able to visit in the future, understanding and respecting the local customs and traditions can help visitors to have a more enjoyable and rewarding experience in this fascinating country. Number 3. China. China, with a population of over 1.84 billion people, is a land that boasts a rich history spanning thousands of years. It is a country of vast proportions, stretching across the Asian continent and featuring a wide array of cultural and linguistic diversity. Visitors to China may find it challenging to navigate the various customs and practices that differ from their own. But with patience and understanding, one can appreciate the unique way of life in this remarkable country. One of the challenges that visitors may face is a perception of rudeness that some Chinese may exhibit. However, it is essential to understand that this behavior may stem from cultural differences in the language barrier. For example, the Chinese value direct communication and may be blunt to outsiders. Still, it is merely a cultural norm, not an indication of rudeness. Similarly, the language barrier can lead to misunderstandings, making it difficult for those who don't speak Mandarin to communicate with the locals. Visitors may find some customs in China rude, such as spitting in public. However, it is essential to understand that this behavior is not widespread and is discouraged in most parts of the country. In some cities, people are encouraged to spit into bins or personal bags as an alternative, a more sanitary and convenient option. By taking the time to understand these nuances, visitors can appreciate China's unique culture and way of life. Overall, while China's vast size and linguistic diversity may present some challenges for visitors, it is a country that offers a truly enriching and rewarding experience. By approaching the culture with an open and understanding mindset, visitors can overcome any initial challenges and appreciate the rich history, customs, and practices that make China a unique and fascinating destination. Number 2. India. India is a nation of exceptional diversity and rich cultural heritage, with a warm and welcoming populace. However, it is common to encounter rude behavior from some Indians. For instance, cutting in line is a prevalent practice in Indian society, with people often pushing ahead of those patiently waiting their turn. A forum participant shared an incident where an older woman elbowed them rudely and shoved them out of the way while getting off public transport. Interrupting others while they speak, speaking loudly in quiet places, standing too close to others, touching their personal belongings without permission, spitting from bus windows at pedestrians, and sticking gum under seats on public transport are some other examples of impolite behavior that foreigners may find rude. According to Reader's Digest, Mumbai is considered the rudest city in the world. However, what may be considered polite or impolite can vary considerably across different regions of India. In Indian society, opportunistic people often succeed, sometimes at the expense of morals and good manners. This is not to say that Indians are not kind people, but their cultural norms may sometimes overshadow their inherent kindness, making it hard for outsiders to adjust. Number 1. France. France is a captivating country that enchants visitors with its rich history, picturesque landscapes, and vibrant culture. This charming nation is famous for its joie de vivre, a feeling of joy and contentment that permeates every aspect of French life. Whether you are savoring a café au lait at a quaint sidewalk cafe, exploring bustling markets, or taking a stroll along the Seine, there's a sense of happiness and fulfillment that characterizes the French way of life, attracting many tourists to its enchanting cities like Paris and Lyon. While the French are renowned for their cultural offerings and charm, they are not always perceived as the most polite people, with some tourists complaining of rudeness. However, this perception is often overshadowed by the country's many attractions. It's worth noting that French people typically do not engage in casual conversations with strangers, considering it impolite to talk to someone without a proper introduction. If a foreign visitor tries to strike up an informal chat with a French person in a public setting, the French person may seem aloof as they haven't been introduced. Moreover, the French tend to be quite direct in their communication. They may not use as many pleasantries or white lies to soften negative feedback when criticizing something. They may express their views bluntly without worrying too much about protecting the other person's feelings. Conversely, if they dislike something, they will not hesitate to complain or show frustration. The French commonly prefer straightforward honesty over excessive consideration for feelings. For example, in French schools, students' grades are openly shared, and teachers often verbally evaluate pupils in front of the class. While this blunt approach may seem disrespectful of privacy and sensitivity in other Western countries, it is a deeply ingrained part of the French mindset. This French frankness can sometimes come across as rude to foreigners who are accustomed to more gentle feedback. In contrast, the United States has a customer-centric culture that leads to a very different service experience. American servers tend to be highly attentive, friendly, and quick to assist as they rely heavily on tips for their income. France has different expectations when it comes to service in restaurants. Unlike the mandatory service with a smile attitude common in the United States, the French simply expect servers to take orders, deliver food, and present the bill. This cultural difference may make American diners feel that French servers are unlikable or rude. It's essential to note that the French appreciate when foreigners make an effort to speak their language. If you walk into a shop or start a conversation with a stranger in English without attempting French, you may be considered arrogant and rude, and the French will likely respond in kind. Additionally, the French tend to be more direct in their communication style. This frankness, which may come across as rudeness to those unfamiliar with it, is simply a cultural difference that takes some getting used to. Could you see yourself living in any of these nations? Drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts.